So I'm just following through. We're stripping off these salvage units up on top. We've gone through and we've identified all the units that are successful, and anything that didn't merge properly, we had like 5 or 6 of them out of the batch. We just took the excluder out and we left the box on top to allow that bottom queen to utilize both boxes, which we'll take later as a split. But for right now, we're taking away these top boxes and we're going to move them out to new yards. So basically all I'm doing is stripping the boxes off. As you can see, a good number of bees inside these boxes. I'm doing this in the evening because I want as many bees back home as possible, so then they can spread out the population equally between the two boxes. The only disadvantage is I don't have my hired guys in. So we put on another patty. This patty isn't being used right now, but there's dandelion flow coming in, so the bees have access to a lot of pollen. They're storing some of it away, which will be used. This will be used after the dandelion flow during the dearth. So what we're going to do now is we put a second box up on top. So we allow that queen to expand up into the second. Okay, so now this honey box is on top. These are honey supers. So the queen has 4 or 4.5 frames of brood in the bottom box. It's ready to hatch, so we need space for to put those bees. We want all these bees for the honey flow, and we want to keep that queen laying, so she's going to lay down there and she's going to move the nest up here as that oh, excuse me. As that hive expands up in the top, she's going to follow the bees and she's going to establish a nest between the two boxes. So this is the next step of my single box management, allowing that queen to come up and lay into the first honey box. We're not storing resources in this honey box yet. We are raising brood. We have a heavy flow on right now, dandelions, wildflowers, clover is about to start on, there's spurge out there. So they're going to store a resource in here dedicated towards this brood. They're going to use that resource to build bees. And the plan is, as the crops start to bloom, as we start to get into the heavy flows where they're starting to store an amount of surplus, we will move that queen back down to the bottom box and allow this top box to hatch out and backfill, and then we can harvest it. I want to show you, this is a shout out to Keith. These bees have turned to their patties. These last week and a half or so, it's been, you know, somewhat slower consumption, which I expected because of all the fruit pollen coming in. Now the bees have turned to dandelion, so predominantly the bees are bringing in dandelion right now. There's a lot of nectar being brought in. These hives are getting heavy, which is fantastic. But from what I'm told, dandelion pollen isn't the most nutritious pollen. It's not balanced, and the bees need to mix the dandelion pollen with other fruit pollens like berries and apples and, you know, tree pollen, or some supplement. So I imagine that's what these guys are doing. They're just grabbing what they need from these patties. Either that or there's a huge demand for protein underneath, which means I'm getting another patty put on right away. This next patty isn't being put on for now. It's being put on for after the dandelion's done. So we're going to run into a dearth here in about a week and a half, hopefully 2 weeks. We get another 2 weeks of good pull and flow. But as soon as the dandelion's done, we go into a dearth, and we got to wait till clover. And so we'll hit probably 2 weeks of dearth till we wait for the clover, and the bees will turn to these patties and keep their nest well nourished and moving forward. So that's my strategy with putting these patties on right now.